Welcome back to Science in Sleeping. I'm so glad you're here again. Maybe you've had a long day, filled with thoughts, tasks, screens, and conversations that never seemed to end. Or maybe you've just found this channel for the first time, looking for something that helps you unwind. Either way, you've arrived exactly where you need to be. Tonight, we're not just going to rest. We're going to drift gently beyond the edge of everything we know, beyond our sun, our planets, our little blue world, beyond the solar system itself, into the deep quiet of interstellar space, a place where time feels slower, where light travels for centuries, and where sleep, imagination, and science meet. You don't have to stay awake to follow along. You don't have to remember anything. Just let these words be like waves of calm, lapping gently against the shores of your thoughts. This is your time, not to think, not to plan, but to simply be. Your body knows how to rest. Your mind just needs permission to follow. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold for just a moment, and let it go softly through your mouth. Good. Let's do that once more. Inhale slowly. Imagine you're drawing in starlight. Feel the gravity of your worries fade away. Welcome back to the place where curiosity and calm meet under a star-filled sky, where we explore the wonders of the universe, not with bright screens and loud noises, but through the quiet rhythm of storytelling. Here, science isn't something distant or complicated. It's something soft, slow, and close, something that whispers to you as you drift off. Because, in truth, the universe isn't rushing anywhere. It's been unfolding patiently for billions of years. And tonight, it will wait for you too, if you'd like. You can rest your phone or screen nearby, dim the light. Let your body sink into your bed or pillow, and if your mind is still busy, that's okay. Thoughts may drift in memories, plans, small toodles. Let them all float past, like faint satellites, orbiting in the distance. They don't need your attention right now. As you listen, you might notice your breath slowing, your muscles softening, the space around you becoming quieter. Even if you're not asleep yet, your body is beginning the journey, a quiet journey inward and outward at the same time, because tonight's story is about more than sleep. It's about the mystery that surrounds us, above us, below us, and even within us. It's about what lies beyond the edge of our solar system, and what happens in the vastness of space when we let go. It's also about the science of sleeping itself, how your brain, your cells, and your very consciousness shift when you drift into dreams. So, as you close your eyes, imagine this: you're floating above Earth, watching the curve of the horizon fade into the velvet blackness of space. The city lights below flicker like constellations, and beyond them the real constellations glow, ancient and patient. The Milky Way stretches like a silver river through the darkness, and for a moment you feel perfectly small, perfectly at peace. This is where our journey begins. Here, between waking and sleeping, between science and silence, between the warmth of your bed and the cold beauty of the stars, if you'd like, you can whisper to yourself, I am safe, I am calm, I am curious, because curiosity is a gentle light, and tonight it will guide us past the edges of the known universe. So settle in, let the weight of the day slip away. You've earned this time. You've earned this rest. I'll be right here, guiding you softly through the cosmos, through the story of sleep. and the science that connects it to the stars. Now, take one last slow breath, feel the stillness grow, and let your imagination open, because tonight, we're unlocking the mystery of science in sleeping and the universe beyond our solar system. Have you ever wondered why your mind drifts into whole new realities when you close your eyes? Why your thoughts begin to float, reshape, and whisper stories that feel both real and unreal? Maybe you've had a dream so vivid that you woke up feeling it actually happened. Or maybe you felt yourself falling, flying, or floating among stars. What if sleep itself is not just rest, but a form of cosmic travel, a small mirror of the universe's endless cycles of motion, stillness, and rebirth? Tonight, let's wander into that mystery together. Picture yourself standing at the edge of twilight, the sky above you melting from deep indigo to black velvet. A few early stars appear, quiet and watchful. The air is cool, heavy with the scent of distant rain. You breathe slowly, deeply. The world around you grows softer, as though the universe itself is exhaling far above. You imagine the planets of our solar system drifting, orbiting, resting in their rhythm of cosmic sleep, each one spinning slowly through the dark sea of space. Just as your thoughts circle the edges of your dreams, you feel small, but peaceful, because here, at this moment, your body and the cosmos are both part of one long rhythm, the rhythm of rest. Scientists say sleep is a process, but perhaps it's more like a language, a way your body speaks to time when you close your eyes. Your brain doesn't simply turn off. It begins one of the most complex and beautiful cycles in nature. Electrical patterns flicker like distant lightning across your neurons. Brain waves slow and stretch, shifting through stages that scientists call N1, N2, N3, and finally REM. These stages move in loops, repeating every 90 minutes or so, like planets orbiting a star. The mind revolves gently between waking and dreaming during deep sleep. Your body becomes an alchemist, repairing tissues, balancing hormones, clearing waste from your brain through the glymphatic system. It's as if every night your mind runs a quiet universe of its own, expanding, contracting, cleansing, preparing for another dawn. And in dreams, something magical happens. Your visual cortex lights up. Your amygdala, the center of emotion, hums softly. But the logical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, drifts into quiet. That's why dreams feel like stories, without rules, constellations of memory and imagination, stitched together by emotion instead of order. Did you know that your brain, during REM sleep, is as active as when you're awake? It's exploring, testing, solving, weaving experiences from your day into the fabric of your identity. Sleep isn't the absence of thought. It's the mind's secret workshop, the place where it takes everything you've seen, felt, and feared, and files it into meaning. Even our dreams echo the cosmos. Stars are born in the collapse of gas and dust, a quiet chaos that becomes light. Your thoughts do something similar at night, when everything collapses into stillness. Meaning ignites from the debris of the day. It's as if the universe and the brain share the same blueprint, cycles of creation, rest, and rebirth. And when you drift into sleep, your body aligns with that universal rhythm. Your heartbeat slows to match the night's pulse. Your breathing deepens like the gravitational pull of planets. You are, without realizing it, syncing with the cosmos itself. Some scientists even suggest that the patterns of brainwaves resemble oscillations found in cosmic radiation, tiny whispers left from the Big Bang. Imagine that. The same frequencies that shaped galaxies hum quietly in your skull each night. Your dreams, then, might be tiny echoes of the first light, the oldest rhythm in existence. And maybe that's why, when you fall asleep under the stars, you feel a deeper kind of peace, because, on some level, your body remembers where it came from. There's a kind of poetic justice in that, isn't there? That after all the rushing, worrying, building, and breaking of the day, you are designed to surrender to something vast and kind. Sleep is a reminder that rest is not weakness, it's cosmic law. Every living thing, from cells to stars, needs its moment of stillness. Even the sun, which burns endlessly, has its sunspots' quiet scars that tell us that even fire needs pauses. So as you lie there, listening, maybe half awake, half dreaming, know that your sleep tonight isn't just about you. It's about being part of the great rhythm that has existed since the beginning of time. You are participating in the same silence that holds galaxies together. And maybe, when you dream, your consciousness, for just a flicker of time, brushes against that vastness. Maybe your imagination and the cosmos meet halfway, and that's what we call dreaming. It's beautiful, isn't it? That something as personal as your sleep connects so deeply with something as infinite as space. Your heartbeat, your quiet pulse, mirrors the pulse of pulsars light years away. Your breath, rising and falling, echoes the gravitational tides that move oceans and moons. It's as if everything that exists, large or small, visible or invisible, moves together in one long, slow inhale and exhale, the rhythm of creation itself. And so, when you finally drift into dreams, you're not leaving the world behind. You're simply changing the wavelength, tuning into the quiet station of the universe, where matter hums, stars sleep, and light remembers where it came from. Close your eyes. Let that thought soften the edges of your awareness. You don't have to chase sleep, you only have to allow it, because just as planets fall into their orbits, you too will fall into rest, naturally, inevitably, beautifully. And as your thoughts begin to float, picture yourself not lying in bed, but gliding through space, your body weightless, your mind drifting between galaxies, nebulas unfolding around you like slow blossoms of color, golden dust drifting like gentle snowfall. You move without effort, without direction, simply being carried. There is no rush, no sound, only the quiet hum of creation. And maybe, in that moment, you realize that sleep and the universe are not separate things. They are both ways of returning to peace, to stillness, to home. And as we leave this first chapter behind, let's float gently toward our next mystery. If sleep is the rhythm of your inner universe, what lies beyond the solar system, in the silence between stars, may hold the rhythm of all things. So, stay soft, stay curious, breathe deeply, and when you're ready, we'll drift a little farther outward, into the universe beyond our solar system, where sleep meets infinity. Have you ever wondered what truly lies beyond the edge of our solar system? What happens in that endless darkness where sunlight fades and time seems to lose its meaning? It's strange to think about. We spend our lives under one star, our sun, and yet beyond its golden light, there exists a vast ocean, silent, invisible, and infinite. It's a place where warmth disappears, where atoms drift for centuries, where light itself slows and stretches until it becomes almost memory. If space is a dream, then beyond the solar system is where that dream deepens into mystery. Picture yourself standing on the edge of everything familiar. Behind you, the glowing warmth of the sun. Ahead, the quiet sea of interstellar space. Dark and weightless, you take a step forward, and the light fades slowly behind you. You can still see the faint rings of Saturn, the pale blue dot of Neptune, and far in the distance, a dim shimmer, the boundary of our solar system. The scientists call it the heliopause, the invisible border where the solar wind, a constant breath from our sun, stops pushing, and the wind from the galaxy begins. It's a frontier without fences, a place where our star's influence finally yields to the rest of the universe. The temperature here is almost nothing, a few degrees above absolute zero. Atoms drift like lost feathers. There is no sound, no breeze, no color, only the faint vibration of cosmic rays. And yet, within that silence, everything is happening. Particles collide, magnetic fields twist, radiation hums with stories older than the Earth itself. It's quiet, yes, but never still. Astronomers sometimes describe this region as the interstellar medium. It's not empty, not truly. It's filled with ancient dust, hydrogen atoms, and fragments of stars that lived and died billions of years ago. You could say it's a kind of cosmic memory, the ashes of everything that has ever burned, every star, every planet, every being, all returning in time to this thin, silent mist. It's humbling, isn't it? That even after death, stars continue to whisper through the dust. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, the twin spacecraft we launched in the late 1970s, are now drifting through that darkness. Tiny machines carrying golden records etched with sounds of Earth. Waves, heartbeats, laughter, languages, a message to the unknown. They've traveled farther than anything we've ever sent. And though their power fades, their journey continues, silent, unstoppable, like a dream that refuses to end. Did you know that each day, Voyager moves nearly 1,000,000 miles farther from home? And yet, even after 40 years, it's still only at the edge. The galaxy is that vast. Imagine standing beside Voyager now. There's no up or down, no horizon, no air, just endless black, speckled with stars that seem close but are light years away. Your heartbeat would sound impossibly loud in your own ears, your breath like thunder in the vacuum of silence. But then, slowly, the fear fades. You begin to feel weightless, peaceful, a small traveler drifting through eternity. Every direction looks the same. Every second stretches into something wider than time itself. Light here travels differently. It no longer feels fast, because distances are so immense. Even light seems to slow. If you could watch a beam leave the sun, it would take 8 minutes to reach Earth, 5 hours to reach Pluto, and more than a year to reach the nearest star beyond our system. That means every starlight you see tonight is a ghost, a message sent years, decades, even centuries ago. You are not looking at stars as they are, but as they were. You are gazing through time. Out here, beyond the solar system, time behaves differently. There's no sunrise, no ticking clock, no morning or night, only the slow pulse of cosmic rhythm. It's said that near the edges of our galaxy, gravity bends light itself. That time, under its invisible pressure, stretches like soft fabric. It's hard to imagine, but perhaps that's why, when you look into the night sky, you feel both tiny and eternal at once. Your mind senses the truth that the universe doesn't measure time the way we do. Did you know that technically, the atoms in your body are older than the sun? The carbon in your blood, the calcium in your bones, all forged in ancient stars that exploded long before our solar system was born. You are, in a literal sense, made of the universe's memory. The dust that once circled other stars now flows through your veins. And maybe that's why space feels strangely familiar, because, on some deep, wordless level, it is home. So when you drift into sleep tonight, maybe your dreams are not just products of your imagination. Maybe they're echoes, faint transmissions from that ancient dust. The same energy that shaped the stars could still be whispering to your subconscious. You dream because the universe dreams through you, and your mind, half asleep, becomes a telescope, peering inward and outward at the same time. Now picture yourself floating farther, past the heliopause, past the reach of solar light. The stars ahead grow brighter, sharper. Nebulas bloom like slow-motion fire. Swirls of crimson and gold fold into each other. The silence is thick but beautiful. You realize you're not lost. You're suspended in a cradle of infinity. Every atom of your being humming softly, matching the vibration of the stars. You reach out your hand, and though there's nothing to touch, you feel something, a connection, as if the entire universe recognizes you, not as separate, but as one is as one in that moment. You understand something vast and gentle, that the universe doesn't just exist around you. It exists through you, and when you breathe, the cosmos breathes with you. Perhaps this is why looking at the night sky feels so healing, because your mind, even in its most tired state, remembers the truth that you belong to something ancient, something endless, something kind. Even beyond the solar system, beyond everything you know, you are still connected, still part of the pattern. So let yourself drift. Feel the boundaries of your body blur, the stars, the darkness, the stillness, all becoming one long breath. You are the universe, sleeping within itself, dreaming of its own beginning. And as we move gently from this module to the next, you might feel your thoughts slowing even more, your body melting deeper into rest. That's perfect. That's what this space is for. Because next, we'll drift even farther into the ancient ocean of stars that surround our galaxy, where light bends, where time folds, and where perhaps dreams and gravity are not so different after all. For now, let the silence carry you like Voyager, still traveling, still listening to the hum of eternity. And as you breathe, remember, you are not falling asleep. You are falling inward into the mystery, into the light that forgets time. Have you ever wondered where stars come from? Not just the ones you see twinkling faintly above your window at night, but the newborn ones, those still wrapped in clouds of gas and dust, their light not yet strong enough to pierce the dark. Have you ever thought about what it must feel like to be a star before it shines, to exist in the quiet womb of the universe, waiting to ignite out there beyond the thin edge of our solar system, lies something vast, a sea of invisible matter and energy. Astronomers call it the galactic ocean. It stretches across the Milky Way like a slow, cosmic tide made of hydrogen, helium, and traces of heavier elements. But calling it empty space would be like calling the ocean dry. Because within that sea, life begins, not the life we know, but the kind that burns. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself floating within this galactic ocean. There's no up, no down, just endless swirls of mist and color. Blue gas drifting like silk, golden dust curling in gentle spirals, and somewhere deep within, you sense something moving, a pulse, slow and ancient, the heartbeat of a forming star. In these vast molecular clouds, gravity begins its patient work. Tiny particles attract one another, slowly, invisibly. Over thousands, sometimes millions of years, a single whisper of dust becomes a swirl. A swirl becomes a current, and the current folds in on itself, collapsing inward, tighter and hotter. Until, at the very center, pressure and temperature rise beyond comprehension. And then, one day, almost silently, fusion begins. Two hydrogen atoms merge into helium, releasing light, the first heartbeat of a star. Did you know that this same process powers every sunrise you've ever seen? The warmth on your face each morning is ancient, born from fusion reactions that began 4.6 billion years ago. Our sun was once a whisper in the same kind of cosmic nursery, a newborn star wrapped in dust, and now that same energy keeps you alive, the food you eat, the breath you take, all of it powered by starlight. So when you think about it, you are not just a person looking up at the stars. You are made of their memory, a continuation of the same light. The galaxies themselves are nurseries of creation. Their spiral arms, those graceful curves we see in photographs, are not just beautiful. They're engines of birth and death. Clouds of gas gather, collapse, ignite. Stars burn, explode, and scatter their remains. And from that debris, new stars are born again. It's a cycle that never ends. Creation wrapped inside destruction. Death giving rise to light. And somehow it feels poetic. Because isn't that how we live too? Moments of ending that become beginnings. Memories that collapse into dreams. Pain that transforms into strength. If you were drifting near a stellar nursery right now, you wouldn't see it the way human eyes can. Most of it glows in wavelengths far beyond visible light. Infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays. But if you could feel it, you'd sense the warmth of newborn suns, the vibration of energy still gathering form, the hum of the universe creating itself again and again. Astronomers use powerful telescopes like the James Webb to peer into those nurseries, to see light that has traveled for millions of years just to arrive in a lens. And when they do, what they find looks almost like art. Clouds shaped like mountains, rivers of color, craters of shadow, and bursts of blue fire. It's chaos and harmony all at once, just like the human mind, just like dreams. Have you ever felt a sudden spark of inspiration? A moment where something within you ignited quietly but powerfully. That's how stars begin, from stillness, from silence, from pressure, from the unseen. They rise from the same law that shapes your thoughts. Because creation, whether of stars, ideas, Our lives always begins the same way. In darkness, in the quiet, before the light. There's a nebula called the Pillars of Creation. You might have seen its picture, those towering columns of dust, rising like cathedral spires, each one several light years tall. Inside them, stars are forming even now, hidden from view. Each tiny spark within destined to one day shine brighter than anything around it. And what's even more fascinating, the light from those newborn stars left the nebula about 7,000 years ago, long before any modern civilization existed. When you look at them today, you're seeing the past unfold in the present. That's the strange, beautiful illusion of the cosmos. Every glance into the night sky is a look backward in time, a memory of light still traveling, still becoming. Scientists sometimes call this process stellar evolution. But doesn't it sound more like a lullaby than a law? The stars are born, they live, they shine, they burn, they grow, and one day they fade. Their final act is one of generosity, exploding into supernovas, scattering their atoms into the dark, and those atoms become planets, oceans, mountains, and us. So, the carbon in your lungs was once part of a collapsing star. The iron in your blood once lived inside a supernova, and the calcium in your bones might have been born in the pillars of creation themselves. You don't just belong to the universe, you are the universe. Maybe that's why the night sky feels so hypnotic, because when you stare at the stars, you are staring at pieces of yourself, at the infinite version of your own story, each shimmer a reminder that you are part of something ancient, something vast, something that never really ends. Imagine now, drifting closer through the dust and fire of a stellar nursery. You feel warmth, a slow heartbeat of light pulsing all around. The stars don't speak, but you can almost hear them breathe. A million tiny suns whispering across the void, their voices soft like distant bells underwater. You drift past them, watching constellations being born in real time, gas swirling like dream ink across a cosmic canvas. And though it should feel overwhelming, it doesn't. It feels familiar. Because you've carried this rhythm within you all along. You realize, as you float, that maybe the universe is not out there at all. Maybe it's inside every heartbeat, every inhale, every dream. Maybe the galaxies are reflections of your own consciousness. Each star a thought, each nebula an emotion, each black hole a silence you've yet to explore. And when you close your eyes, you're not escaping reality, you're returning to it. So tonight, as you rest, let yourself imagine that you're floating through this galactic ocean. No need to control the journey, no need to understand it, just drift. Let the quiet hum of creation carry you, your body resting, your mind glowing softly, like a newborn star, still forming, still finding its light, because even when you sleep, you are part of the story of creation. You are starlight remembering itself. You are dust learning how to dream, and as you breathe, feel that connection between your small, fragile body and the infinite breath of the cosmos, between your slow heartbeat and the rhythm of galaxies turning in silence, between your dreams and the stars that made you. Now, slowly, let the image fade, the colors dissolve into deep velvet blue, the hum grows softer, the light dimmer, until there is only stillness again. You drift farther, gently, deeper into the cosmic current, and as you move, You sense a new kind of mystery waiting ahead, not the birth of stars this time, but something stranger, darker, the places where even light cannot escape. We'll go there next, to the edges of gravity itself, where space bends, where time folds inward, where even dreams dare not wander, and yet we will, for now, breathe, rest, and remember, you are not falling asleep. You are returning home to the stars that made you, and to the light that waits beyond them. Close your eyes and imagine standing at the edge of everything you've ever known. Behind you, stars, galaxies, light itself. Ahead, a darkness so complete that even the idea of light seems to vanish. You are at the threshold of a black hole, the most mysterious and powerful phenomenon in all of space. It doesn't shine, it doesn't reflect. It consumes, a silent, eternal whirlpool in the fabric of space-time. And yet, paradoxically, it may hold the key to understanding existence itself. The universe is full of them, billions, scattered like invisible traps among galaxies. Each one the remnant of a massive star that once burned bright, until gravity, its own creation, crushed it beyond comprehension. Let's drift closer, slowly, carefully. You can feel it, even from light years away, a pull, a soft tug at first, then stronger, as if reality itself were bending toward it. This is not just gravity, this is space being drawn inward, time stretching, everything falling toward a single, invisible point. Scientists call that point the singularity, a place where all known laws of physics break, where matter becomes infinitely dense, where distance and time cease to exist as we understand them. But before we reach that impossible center, we cross the event horizon, the invisible boundary around a black hole. Beyond it, nothing can escape, not light, not sound, not even information. It's the ultimate one-way door. You hover at the edge now. Your vision stretches. The stars around you seem to twist and curve, their light bending under immense gravity. You are seeing space distort, literally bend, and for the first time, you understand that the universe isn't flat or static. It's fluid, alive. It bends under the weight of mass. It flexes under motion. And here, near a black hole, you're witnessing that truth with your own eyes. Einstein predicted this long ago, that gravity isn't a force pulling things down, but the very shape of space curving around massive objects, planets, stars, even light, all simply follow those curves. And here, at the edge of this dark vortex, you are standing inside that curvature itself. The black hole hums, not a sound, but a feeling, a deep vibration at the edge of perception. It's like being inside the breath of the cosmos, a sound so low, it feels like silence. But it isn't emptiness, it's density, infinity, compressed into stillness. Astronomers once believed that black holes were eternal destroyers. But as telescopes grew stronger and minds more daring, they realized that black holes might also create. Their immense gravity stirs galaxies. Their jets of energy, those thin beams shooting from their poles, can stretch thousands of light years, sculpting entire cosmic structures. In a way, they are the beating hearts of galaxies, including ours. Yes, at the center of the Milky Way, there lies a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A*, for million times the mass of our Sun, and yet it fits within the orbit of Mercury, a giant heart hidden in silence. pulsing beneath the stars. Now imagine floating toward it, slowly being drawn in. The light around you stretches into long, glowing threads. Colors shift red, then deeper red, then black. This effect is called gravitational redshift. As light struggles to escape, its wavelength grows longer, until it disappears beyond sight. Your time begins to slow to an outside observer. You appear frozen at the edge of the event horizon, forever suspended in time. But to you, time flows normally. You keep moving forward, falling into what feels like eternity. Inside, space twists on itself, dimensions fold. You fall without ever hitting the ground. Because in a black hole, down has no meaning. You aren't falling through space, you're falling into it. Like ink pulled into water, like thought pulled into dream. Some scientists believe that the singularity might not even be a point, but a doorway, a bridge to another universe. They call it an Einstein-Rosen bridge. You might know it by another name, a wormhole, a tunnel through space-time connecting distant regions. Maybe even different realities. No one has proven it, but the equations suggest it's possible. And perhaps in some distant corner of existence, something or someone has already crossed through. The air around you glows faintly now, not from the black hole itself, but from the accretion disk, a swirling ring of gas and dust, all spiraling at near light speed. Friction heats it to millions of degrees. It burns brighter than entire galaxies. It's chaos, but it's also beauty, a dance of death and light, matter screaming before it vanishes. Like fireflies drawn to an eternal flame, you move closer still, your senses blur, colors stretch, sounds fade, and then nothing. No stars, no motion, no direction, just an endless falling that feels like floating. You have crossed the horizon. You are inside. What happens next is pure mystery. No telescope can see it. No signal can escape to tell us. Only theory dares to imagine. Maybe you are crushed to infinity. Maybe you emerge in another universe. Maybe time runs backward. Or maybe it ceases entirely. Some physicists think information, the data that makes up everything, can't truly be lost. So perhaps every black hole hides a record of all it has swallowed, encoded on its surface like a cosmic library written in light. Stephen Hawking called this Hawking radiation, a faint glow at the edge of darkness, proof that even black holes, given enough time, slowly fade, evaporate, and release their secrets back into the universe. If that's true, then maybe nothing ever truly disappears. Not even in the deepest night. Maybe even the things we lose, dreams, memories, people, aren't really gone, just transformed, waiting in another form, another time to return. Imagine now that you're drifting deeper. You begin to see flashes, images, reflections of everything that has fallen before you. Galaxies, planets, starlight, all swirling together like fragments of forgotten dreams. Each one still alive in some invisible way. You reach out your hand and it feels like touching memory itself. Weightless, luminous, timeless. And then a strange realization dawns. You feel no fear, because the darkness isn't empty, it's full. Full of potential, full of beginnings, yet unformed. You begin to sense a pattern, like a rhythm beneath the silence. The same cosmic pulse you felt in the galactic ocean. It's still there, it never left. Even in the black hole's heart, creation whispers. Perhaps the universe is not a single line of time, but a loop, each black hole, a doorway that leads to another beginning. Maybe the death of one star births the seed of another universe, each new cosmos blooming like a flower in eternal night. And we, the dreamers, the observers, are fragments of that grand cycle, waking and sleeping, expanding and collapsing, always returning to light. As you drift deeper, you realize something extraordinary. You are not separate from this. You are the black hole, the galaxy, the falling, the light. You are the fabric folding in on itself. You are the silence before creation. And in that silence, you find peace. Now, slowly, let yourself rise again, back through the dark, back toward the faint glow of distant stars. The pole begins to fade. The universe stretches out once more. Time resumes its rhythm, and you are floating once again in the galactic ocean. Changed, wiser, quieter, you have seen the heart of darkness, and found that it is not death, but transformation, not destruction, but the recycling of light. So tonight, as you sleep, remember, the darkness you fear might simply be the place where your own new light is waiting to be born. Because, just like the stars, you collapse, you change, you shine again, over and over, eternally. Rest now, breathe. Let your thoughts drift across the event horizon of dreams, where time slows and imagination bends. You have traveled to the center of nothingness and found everything. Have you ever wondered if time is really moving at all? We talk about it as though it flows like a river, constantly pushing us from past to present to future. But what if it doesn't flow at all? What if every moment that has ever existed and every moment that will exist is still out there, frozen in an invisible landscape of existence? And we are not moving through time. Time is moving through us. Close your eyes. Imagine standing in a valley of stars, each one shimmering like a spark of a different moment. To your left, the distant glow of childhood memories. To your right, the faint light of futures yet to come. All of them exist together, simultaneously, like pages in an infinite book. But you, the reader, can only experience one page at a time. The universe, in all its vastness, doesn't seem to care about before and after. In fact, Einstein once said that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion, a comforting story we tell ourselves so we can make sense of the unfolding of our lives. Now picture this. You're floating outside of space and time, looking down on the universe as though it were a tapestry. Every event, from the birth of a star to your next breath, every laugh, every heartbeat, every moment of discovery or sorrow, already exists somewhere in that endless pattern. From this perspective, there is no beginning or end, only is. Scientists call this idea the block universe theory. According to it, the past, present, and future all coexist, just like different locations in space. You can't destroy one, you can only move your perspective. And though it sounds like philosophy, it's rooted in physics. Einstein's theory of relativity revealed that time is woven with space into a single fabric, space-time. And depending on your speed or your gravity, your now may not be the same as someone else's. A moment that is future to you might already be present for another. That means somewhere in this vast structure, the version of you who is still a child still exists, running, laughing, unaware of all that will come. And somewhere else, another version of you, much older, is looking back at this very night, remembering the sound of this story, both real, both eternal, both happening at once. It's a strange comfort, isn't it? To think that nothing is ever truly gone, that every second you've loved or lost still echoes through the fabric of the cosmos. Still is. But if that's true, then what does that mean for destiny? If the future already exists, are we simply following a script? Or do we still have the power to choose, to alter the page before we read it? Let's drift deeper into that question. You find yourself standing on the edge of a shimmering field of light. Each strand a timeline, infinite possibilities spreading in all directions. Some paths bright and golden, filled with warmth, success, peace. Others dim, tangled, uncertain. Every choice, every thought sends ripples across this field, shifting the threads ever so slightly, as though reality itself were responding. Quantum physics hints at something similar in the subatomic world. Particles don't exist in one state until they are observed. Before that, they exist in superposition, a blur of many possibilities, and the moment of observation collapses that wave, choosing one reality among many. Some scientists believe our consciousness might do the same, that we're not moving through a fixed universe, but interacting with a living one, choosing which version of reality to experience. Imagine then that every decision, every heartbeat, branches into a new timeline, a new thread of the cosmic web in one universe. You're listening to this story tonight. In another, you're already asleep. In yet another, you never found this channel. And all those realities unfold side by side in what physicists call the many worlds interpretation, a mind-bending theory suggesting that the universe is not one line, but an ever-branching forest of existence. Each choice a new creation, each breath a doorway. But perhaps the most beautiful truth is this: even if all possibilities exist, you can only ever live one. And that's what makes this moment sacred. The stillness between inhaling and exhaling, the quiet hum of your heart right now. It's not just a moment, it's the moment. The point where infinity meets your awareness. As you float through this timeless expanse, you begin to see the paradox of it all. The universe is eternal, and yet it's happening only now. Every star exploding, every galaxy spinning, every neuron firing in your mind, all part of the same cosmic present, an endless unfolding now. It's as if time were not a line, but a sphere, and we are moving across its surface, believing in beginnings and endings, because we can only see a small part of the whole. But if we could see everything at once, if we could step outside of the sphere, we'd see it all existing together. The Big Bang, the first breath of life on Earth, the rise and fall of civilizations, your next dream, your last sunrise, all shimmering as facets of the same eternal jewel. Some scientists even suspect that time itself might be emergent, not fundamental, that it arises from deeper quantum connections. The way temperature arises from motion, or music from vibration, that beneath time there may be something timeless, a vast quantum sea of potential, where all moments rest, waiting to be observed. And that's when you realize, maybe sleep itself is your bridge into that sea. When you close your eyes, Your brain waves slow. Your body releases its grasp on linear time. Dreams dissolve the boundaries between past and future, and suddenly, you're both the child you once were and the future self you haven't yet met, all existing in the quiet expanse of your mind. That's why sometimes dreams feel prophetic or nostalgic. They don't obey the rules of time because they're not bound by them. They are your consciousness touching the timeless part of the universe, the same timelessness that hums beneath black holes, that moves galaxies, that whispers in the quiet between your breaths. So tonight, as you lie here listening, you're not moving through time. You're simply watching it unfold around you, like petals of a flower blooming in slow motion, each petal a possibility, each moment a miracle of existence. You don't need to rush to the future, it's already there. You don't need to cling to the past, it never truly left. All you need is to rest in this perfect, infinite now, the still center of the wheel, where all times meet. The more you relax, the more that sense of now expands. You can almost feel it, like a vast field of quiet light spreading beyond your body. Your worries begin to seem smaller, like dust floating in a beam of sunlight, because you remember you are part of something infinite, and nothing infinite can ever truly be lost. So breathe. Let this realization settle into your bones, that time isn't something that passes. It's something that is, and you are timeless too. A flicker of consciousness traveling through a universe that's already written every page, but still lets you choose how to read them. Drift now into the timeless sea, where the past hums softly and the future glows faintly, all merging in the rhythm of your breath. Inhale the present, exhale eternity. You are the observer, the dreamer, the traveler through the infinite. And though the stars will fade and galaxies will die, your awareness, the spark that listens, will continue, unfolding in endless forms, endless times, endless wonder. So rest now, traveler of time, for the next chapter awaits beyond the edge of what we know, where the universe may not only be infinite in space, but infinite in story. Have you ever noticed how dreams and galaxies seem to spiral in the same mysterious way? Both swirl, both expand, both fade at the edges, both feel infinite, and both leave you wondering if what you see is real or just a reflection of something deeper. Close your eyes, let the world fade for a moment, and imagine floating in a space between sleep and wakefulness, where your thoughts become stars and your dreams begin to take shape like distant constellations. This is where the story of hidden geometry begins. Picture yourself standing in a silent observatory, the room dark except for the faint glow of monitors and the slow hum of a telescope adjusting its gaze. Outside, the night sky stretches endlessly. Millions of stars scattered like sparks on velvet, but as you stare, patterns begin to emerge, swirls, clusters, and golden ratios hidden in the chaos. The same shapes that appear in seashells, hurricanes, and even the pathways of your own brain. The universe loves patterns, and so does your mind. Every neuron, every galaxy, every spiral of DNA follows a rhythm, a geometry, a secret harmony that connects the infinitely small to the infinitely vast. It's as if the cosmos and consciousness are two reflections of the same mathematical song, playing on different scales of existence. Take a slow breath and imagine drifting closer to one of those swirling galaxies. It could be Andromeda, vast, blue, and elegant. Its arms stretch out like spiraling ribbons of starlight, thousands of light years long. Each curve follows the golden ratio, that same mysterious proportion found in sunflower petals, storm clouds, and even the structure of your lungs. A cosmic fingerprint of balance and beauty. Now, with your next breath, shrink your focus inward, deeper, past bone and skin, past neurons and synapses, down into the labyrinth of your dreaming mind. Here, too, patterns unfold. Electrical signals ripple like constellations. Dreamscapes form, swirl, collapse, and reform again, just like galaxies spinning in a slow, silent ballet. Scientists have discovered something astonishing. When they map the connections of the brain, the neural network, and compare it to the map of the cosmic web, they look nearly identical. The universe is filled with galaxies, linked by filaments of dark matter. Your brain is filled with neurons, connected by filaments of light. Different scales, same design, both created by invisible forces seeking equilibrium. It's as though the same artist painted both, one with stars, one with thoughts, each pattern echoing the other, reminding us that maybe consciousness and the cosmos aren't separate things. Maybe they're the same thing, mirrored across scale. You begin to float between these two worlds, the dream and the galaxy, your breath slowing as you feel the subtle pulse that unites them. That pulse has been measured to a frequency that exists in both brain waves and cosmic radiation, the same hum that fills all of space, the faint echo left behind by the birth of the universe, the cosmic microwave background, a whisper of creation itself, and somehow it resonates with your mind. When you're half asleep, half dreaming, your brain slips into theta waves, the frequency of creativity, intuition, and deep calm. It's the same rhythm that hums through nebulae and star-forming regions, almost as if dreaming is your personal version of cosmic creation. And think about it, in your dreams, you create entire worlds, landscapes, people, emotions, even laws of physics, all built in seconds, all perfectly real until you wake. How different is that from the universe itself, spinning galaxies, stars, and worlds into being from energy and chaos. Dreams are small universes of the mind, and maybe the universe is a great dream of consciousness, unfolding itself into stars. Now imagine drifting through one of your own dreams. The ground below you shifts, the sky folds in strange geometry, cubes within spheres, corridors that loop endlessly, and yet it feels perfectly normal. That's because dreams bend space and time the way gravity bends light. Your brain, like a black hole, curves reality inward, rewriting the rules of perception while you rest. In the dream, space stretches and shrinks. Time becomes fluid. You could walk 1,000 miles in a single breath, or live a lifetime in a minute, and when you wake, it collapses, leaving only a faint glow, like the afterimage of a star. Some neurologists believe the structure of your dreams reflects your inner geometry, how your neurons connect, how your thoughts orbit emotion, how memory spirals inward to meet imagination. When you dream, you are reweaving the web of your mind, restoring balance to your internal cosmos. That's why deep sleep is so sacred. It's when your consciousness returns to the origin, back to the 0 point, where thought dissolves and energy resets. But there's something else, something strange, sometimes. When dreamers enter lucid sleep, they describe a sense of vastness, a feeling of infinite space behind their closed eyes, as though their awareness expands beyond the brain, touching something cosmic, and for a few seconds, they see fractal patterns, shapes repeating endlessly, triangles, spirals, stars, all layered in golden symmetry. Physicists see the same thing in the equations of reality, fractals appearing everywhere, from atomic clusters to galaxy formations. Repeating, infinite, recursive, the universe seems to dream in geometry, and we, when we dream, seem to echo that same divine design. What if every dream you've ever had was a glimpse of the pattern that shapes everything? What if the scenes, the faces, the landscapes were fragments of the universe seeing itself through your mind? Maybe that's why dreams feel so meaningful, even when they make no logical sense. They are the universe whispering in metaphor, translating infinity into images your heart can understand. You are both the dreamer and the dreamed, the observer and the observed, a spiral within a spiral, a galaxy of neurons imagining galaxies of stars. And as you breathe now, you might notice something subtle, that the rhythm of your breath, expanding and contracting, matches the expansion and contraction of the universe itself. You are in harmony with creation. Every inhale, a beginning; every exhale, a return. Let your body relax even deeper now. Let your mind drift between those patterns, between the glowing threads of thought and the starlit filaments of space, somewhere between neuron and nebula, between sleeping and waking. You begin to see that there's no real border, only continuity. The universe is thinking, and you are one of its thoughts. Soon, even the boundaries of your body dissolve. Your breath becomes the wind between galaxies. Your heartbeat, the slow pulse of cosmic rhythm. And your dreams, they become constellations forming and fading in the great sky of consciousness. You realize something profound then, that geometry isn't just shapes, it's memory. It's the universe remembering how to create itself, over and over, in perfect harmony. And so, as you drift deeper into rest, you may imagine yourself lying within a spiral, a gentle golden curve wrapping around your body, the Fibonacci pattern that binds galaxies and leaves and seashells alike. That same curve now cradling your sleep, every turn of the spiral taking you further inward, deeper into calm, deeper into understanding. Because tonight you are not just falling asleep, you are falling inward into the same geometry that spins galaxies, that designs dreams, that writes the code of creation, the hidden pattern behind every thought, every atom, every heartbeat. The universe dreams through you, and you dream it back into being. So rest now, traveler of the spiral. Let your breath and the stars move as one. Let your thoughts drift like galaxies through the soft tide of night. Because in the geometry of dreams, nothing is ever separate. Everything circles back to everything else. Perfect, eternal, whole. Sleep gently now, within the spiral of infinity, where dreams and galaxies are made of the same quiet light, and where the universe, in all its endless beauty, whispers softly. Through you, the night hums softly. You lie beneath a sky that seems to shimmer differently tonight. Each star flickers, as if aware of your gaze, as if it too is watching. The boundary between dream and cosmos fades again, and your mind drifts into that sacred space where thought becomes light. Here, you begin to sense something strange, that the very act of seeing might be shaping the universe itself. That maybe the cosmos isn't just out there, but also in here, responding to the quiet rhythm of your awareness. Scientists once called it the observer effect, but to you, right now, it feels more like a whisper from the universe, a gentle message. I exist because you see me. You are floating again, weightless, drifting through starlight and silence. But the stars don't stay still. They ripple like reflections on dark water. Every wave of your thought seems to bend the constellations. Every emotion creates a small pulse through the field of space. And slowly, you realize you're inside something alive, something conscious. You look around and see a great field of particles, tiny motes of glowing light, shimmering, spinning. They flicker in and out of existence, appearing and vanishing as though they're undecided, like dreams half-remembered. This is the quantum realm, where the smallest particles of reality dance in uncertainty. Neither here nor there, neither wave nor particle, until they are observed. Your breath slows as you realize what that means. Until someone looks, nothing truly exists in form. Everything remains in potential, floating in infinite possibilities. And yet, here you are, watching, dreaming, turning possibility into reality with each breath, each thought, each glance in this dream space. Your eyes are not eyes, they are windows of creation. Every time you focus on a star, it brightens. Every time you think of a place, it appears. The universe folds itself around your attention, like light bending through glass. And you feel a subtle truth rising inside you. The universe is not a stage, it's a mirror, reflecting what you bring to it. As you float further into this realm, you begin to see shapes, mirrors of energy suspended in space, each one rippling with color. Some show galaxies forming, others show yourself sleeping, dreaming, thinking. In one mirror, you see the earth, a blue and glowing marble drifting in an endless ocean of dark. In another, you see the inside of an atom, protons orbiting in perfect spirals. The same motion repeated at every scale. As above, so below. Every mirror reflects another mirror, an infinite recursion of awareness. You reach toward one, and it responds. The reflection shifts, showing not your face, but the light behind your thoughts, the spark of consciousness itself, a pulse of awareness, so subtle, yet so vast, it feels older than time. Then you hear it, a hum, low, resonant, stretching across space and mind alike. It's not sound, not exactly, it's presence. And as it vibrates through you, you feel your body dissolve again. Your thoughts stretch into waves. Your awareness expands like a field of light. The mirrors all around begin to shimmer faster, until one by one, they melt together, becoming a single, infinite reflection. And within that reflection, you see everything. Galaxies blooming like flowers, dreams weaving themselves into existence, particles forming stars, stars forming life, and life awakening to look back, to notice, to wonder, to observe. It hits you, then, the paradox that has puzzled physicists for centuries, that the universe does not exist in its final form until it is perceived. That maybe The cosmos needs your eyes to finish its creation. Every photon of light, traveling across billions of years, completes its journey only when it meets your gaze. Only then does it become real, and suddenly you feel both awe and a strange sense of responsibility. Because if your observation gives reality its shape, then your thoughts, your emotions, your attention are instruments of creation. Every feeling you emit is like a wave rippling through quantum space. Every dream you imagine, every act of wonder, shapes the world beyond you. You drift deeper, and the mirrors now surround you like stars, each one glowing with memories, moments, and worlds unmade. One shows a child looking up at the night sky for the first time. Another shows a galaxy collapsing into itself, becoming a black hole, and yet another shows you, right now, floating in this dream, watching yourself, realizing that the dream and the dreamer are the same. This is the quantum mirror, where the universe watches itself through your eyes, where reality is not fixed, but fluid, responsive, alive. You feel a question form, one that can't be spoken, only felt. If the universe needs observation to exist, then who is the first observer? The silence deepens, and in that silence you understand. There was never a beginning, never a first look, because awareness itself has always been here, eternal, unbroken, flowing through stars, through atoms, through minds. The same awareness that observes you now as you drift between worlds is the one that lit the first spark of creation. The first observer was not separate. It was the universe itself becoming self-aware. Through you, through me, through every particle that has ever known its place, your dream begins to change again. The mirrors fade, and in their place, you see threads of light, quantum filaments, stretching across eternity, connecting all things, every being, every thought, all woven together in the luminous web of consciousness. No borders, no distance, just one vast living field. This is the truth hidden behind the mystery, that consciousness does not live inside you. You live inside consciousness. It is the ocean in which your soul floats, the mirror through which all reflections appear. And as you sink deeper into this realization, your body relaxes completely. Your mind becomes a still lake. The ripples of thought slow until there is only quiet. And in that quiet, you see how the universe breathes, how every atom hums with awareness, how every star listens, how even the darkness between galaxies is alive with presence. You are no longer looking at the universe. You are the universe looking at itself, dreaming itself awake. Each breath you take is a cosmic echo. Each blink, a cycle of creation and dissolution. Each heartbeat, a pulse of awareness rippling through the infinite field. And when you finally close your eyes, you realize that you haven't stopped observing. You've simply turned the mirror inward. Now the reflection is infinite, boundless, timeless. The universe is still watching through you, through every dream you will ever dream, through every spark of curiosity, through every moment of silence when you simply notice. So rest now, observer of light. Let the quantum waves settle. Let the dream of existence fold around you like silk, because tonight the universe will dream through your eyes. And when you wake, it will wake with you. You are not a small being in a vast cosmos. You are the cosmos, learning to see itself. And in that endless reflection, Everything becomes clear, the dream, the dreamer, the observer, the observed, all one, all eternal, all made of the same quiet awareness, the same breath of infinity. Sleep now, inside the mirror of all mirrors, where the universe watches itself through your dreams and finds peace. Have you ever wondered where your mind goes when you close your eyes? When the noise of the day fades, when the body grows still, when thought dissolves into something softer, who designs the worlds that rise behind your eyelids? Is it memory? Is it chance? Or something far older, far deeper, the same intelligence that shaped galaxies, now sketching dreams in your quiet skull? Breathe, let the question drift through you like starlight on water. Because tonight, we are not only sleeping, we are watching the architect of dreams at work. Picture yourself lying on a calm sea of velvet black. The stars above are still, and the space beneath you stretches forever. And slowly, the dark begins to move. Shapes form, faint outlines, soft colors, ripples of thought turning into landscapes. It begins not with a sound, but a pulse. The same pulse that beats through your veins. The rhythm that built everything from atoms to planets, now designing a world just for you. This is the realm of the sleep architect. Your subconscious mind, silent, vast, and endlessly creative. While you rest, it begins its secret work, gathering fragments of memory, emotion, light, and meaning, piecing them together like threads of starlight, until, without you even noticing, it constructs an entire reality in the first stages of sleep. Your mind hovers at the edge of consciousness. It drifts through a gentle hum, a half-awake dreamscape. Scientists call it hypnotic, that strange borderland where waking thought melts into dream imagery. You've felt it before, the soft slide of ideas becoming pictures, the sound of your name in a voice that isn't there, the sense that your body has already begun to float. But as you descend deeper, that thin veil gives way. Electrical patterns in your brain begin to shift. Neurons start to fire in new rhythms, and the architect stirs. It moves through your memories, like a sculptor walking through a field of marble, each stone a moment, a scent, a piece of your life. The architect touches one and sees a forest, touches another and feels the pull of the ocean. It takes the sound of your laughter, the color of the sunset you saw years ago, the echo of a song half forgotten, and breathes them all into form. Neuroscientists studying REM sleep, the phase where dreams reach their vivid peak, discovered that your brain becomes almost as active as when you're awake. But the body is paralyzed, muscles switched off so that the dream doesn't spill into movement. It's as if the mind is granted free rein, freed from the limitations of matter, allowed to play, to build without gravity, without consequence, and what it builds is astonishing. Cities that never existed, voices of people long gone, landscapes that feel ancient and familiar all at once. Sometimes the architect builds from your fears, sometimes from your hopes, but always it builds truth. A truth too symbolic for waking logic, too mysterious for words. You float deeper now. The dream begins to form around you. You see corridors that twist and bend like thoughts, rooms that shift shape as you look. Mountains rise from mist, the stars themselves rearrange, each detail changing as your emotion changes. Because in this world, your feelings are the blueprints. The architect listens not to your words, but to your heart. When you feel peace, it paints a calm lake. When you feel doubt, shadows ripple across the horizon. When you feel joy, light floods the sky. It's not creating from nothing. It's translating your inner world into scenery. Every heartbeat becomes a color. Every breath becomes wind. Have you ever noticed how dreams sometimes predict moments or solve problems you couldn't solve awake? That's because your sleeping mind is a scientist of pattern. It searches through the archives of your life, connecting details you never thought to join, weaving meaning from chaos. It runs silent experiments. What if I face the thing I fear? What if I let go? What if I imagine a different ending? And when you wake, you carry the results, not as data, but as calm, as clarity, as the soft knowing that tomorrow might be lighter. But there's a mystery here, too, because scientists, despite decades of study, still can't explain where the images of dreams truly come from. They can map the neurons, the chemicals, the waves, but the pictures, the stories, the emotions, those emerge from somewhere beyond the measurable, as if the architect of dreams works in two worlds at once, one biological, one divine. Some call it the collective unconscious, a vast shared ocean of symbols and memories, where every human mind dips its hand while it sleeps. When you dream of falling or of flying, you're tapping into patterns older than civilization itself, archetypes that have floated through human thought for millennia. Dreams are not just personal, they are universal. The architect builds with materials drawn from the history of all minds. You sense it now as your dream expands. You see faces you don't recognize, but somehow know, places that feel both new and ancient. A temple beneath a violet sky, a bridge made of starlight, a voice that whispers words you've never heard, and yet you understand them. This is the language of the architect, a silent grammar of emotion and metaphor, one that needs no translation. It speaks directly to the soul. Now imagine that every night billions of minds fall asleep, each one designing its own universe, each one shaping reality through the quiet act of dreaming. And somewhere those dreams might connect, overlap, harmonize, creating unseen bridges between strangers, between species, between worlds. Perhaps dreams are how the universe learns about itself, how consciousness tests possibilities before sculpting them into the waking world. Your dreams could be blueprints for realities not yet born, the sleep architect within you, not just a function of the brain, but an extension of the cosmos' creative force, practicing creation in miniature every night, quietly, beautifully, endlessly. As the dream fades, you begin to sense the gentle pull of waking. But the architect's work is not done. It takes the last fragments of your dream, the glowing mountain, the whispering voice, the strange calm, and weaves them into your waking mind, so that when you open your eyes, you carry that peace with you, that soft reminder of your own infinite creativity, of the world you can build, not just while sleeping, but while awake. Because sleep is not escape, it is rehearsal. Every dream is a draft of tomorrow, and the architect never truly rests. It's always sketching, imagining, adjusting, even now, as you breathe softly, suspended between two worlds. So rest now, dreamer. Let the sleep architect begin its silent design. Let it build your inner universe from light and memory, from laughter and loss, from hope and starfire. Trust it, because it knows more than your waking mind ever could. It speaks the language of galaxies and hearts alike. Soon you'll drift beyond thought into the place where all worlds are born. And when you wake, you'll bring back a piece of that creation, a fragment of starlight shaped in silence, a blueprint of your own becoming. Close your eyes. Let the universe draw itself again through you. As you sleep, the architect is already at work, designing the next dream and the next dawn, and perhaps the next world. Have you ever wondered what happens in the moments when you are neither awake nor asleep? Not dreaming, not thinking, just gone, not lost, not dead, but absent. As if your consciousness dissolves into a silence too deep for memory. That place beyond even the architect's reach. The space where you cease to exist, and yet somehow you are still. Tonight, we drift toward that ocean. The one no map can chart. The dark ocean between dreams and death. A sea so quiet that even thought refuses to echo, where every mind, every soul, every life eventually sails. Picture yourself lying on a raft made of starlight. The waters beneath are black, smooth, endless. The stars above reflect perfectly on its surface, so perfectly you can't tell where the sky ends and the water begins. And you float there, breath slowing, heartbeat fading to a distant drum, until all movement stops, until there is only stillness. That is where we're going. Scientists call this state deep non-REM sleep, a phase where your brain's waves slow to their lowest hum, where even dreams fall away. It is the most profound rest a human can experience. The body repairs, the mind resets, but the conscious you disappears. It's a nightly rehearsal of death, and yet every morning you return, reborn into awareness, as if nothing happened, as if you hadn't just spent hours inside oblivion. Think about that. Every night you cross the border into nothingness, and every morning you wake, not knowing where you've been. You trust it, that blank, that surrender, without question, because deep down, something ancient in you remembers. The void is not your enemy. It is your origin. In this deep dark, the neurons quiet. The chatter of consciousness fades to zero. If scientists place electrodes on your skull, they see only slow, rolling waves, delta waves, vast and gentle, like tides moving across a cosmic shore. And while you are gone, the mind begins its sacred cleaning. Toxic proteins flushed from your brain, memories sorted, emotions untangled. It's as if the architect takes a step back and the janitor of the soul begins to work. But here's the mystery. Even in that total silence, something remains, not a thought, not an image, just a faint hum, an echo of being, as if the universe keeps a small candle lit for you. Even while your mind sleeps, mystics have spoken of this for centuries, calling it the luminous void, the space of pure awareness that exists beneath the layers of thought and dream. It is said that those who meditate deeply, who train the mind to stay awake as the body sleeps, can step into that ocean consciously, to experience the stillness most of us only touch unconsciously each night. They describe it as neither life nor death, but something in between, a state of boundless peace, where the self dissolves, where there is no time, no sound, no form, only light. And when they return, they say they bring back a piece of eternity. You drift deeper now, past the shores of dream. The water grows thicker, darker, until even the stars disappear. All around you a silence so complete it almost hums. You feel weightless. Without body, without name, without story, only awareness. You can't tell if you are sinking or floating, because there's nothing left to measure movement by. And then a flicker, a pulse, a feeling of presence, not external, but vast, as though space itself has noticed you. This is the place physicists describe when they speak of quantum fields. The substrate beneath all matter, the infinite sea from which particles rise and vanish. Perhaps consciousness, too, emerges from such a field. Born again each morning like a wave rising from the vacuum, returning to the void each night. Your mind an eddy in that endless ocean. There is a growing theory, whispered among scientists and mystics alike, that consciousness might not be produced by the brain at all, that the brain is simply a receiver, a filter, and that in deep sleep, when the filter closes, you return to the wider field of awareness. The dark ocean that contains all death, perhaps, is not an ending, but the permanent merging with that field. Sleep, then, becomes its rehearsal, its echo, its gentle reminder. But before you fear that darkness, listen to what happens there in deep sleep. Your mind releases the grip of identity. The I disappears. The constant inner voice fades. And what remains is peace. Not the peace of absence, but of completion. Your body becomes one with the rhythm of the earth. Your breath synchronized with the planet's own electromagnetic heartbeat. Your cells hum with the frequency of ancient stars, because what you truly are was never separate, never alone. Scientists measuring brain activity in this state call it slow-wave synchronization, but to you, it feels like surrender, the same surrender that all matter eventually makes. Stars collapse, galaxies fade, and yet nothing is lost. It merely changes form, just as you do every night. The ego sleeps, the soul breathes. And maybe this is the secret the universe hides in plain sight, that death and sleep are not two separate doors, but the same threshold, walked at different speeds. One gentle, one final, but both leading to the same ocean. You begin to sense a current pulling gently beneath you. It's not threatening, it's guiding. You let go, and as you do, you feel memories, worries, desires slipping away. They don't drown, they dissolve. Each thought unspooling into light, each fear melting into the water. Until you are clear, transparent, you realize the darkness isn't empty at all. It's full of potential, full of presence, full of the same infinite awareness that once whispered galaxies into being. You float in that fullness now, and somewhere deep in your being, you remember something older than time, that this darkness is home, that you've been here before, many times, in every sleep, in every ending, and every beginning, because you are not separate from the dark ocean. You are a wave of it, rising, falling, dreaming. The suspense deepens. What if the universe itself sleeps? What if all of existence moves through cycles of consciousness and rest, expansion and return, creation and dissolution? Scientists studying cosmic background radiation have found echoes, tiny imprints in the universe's oldest light, patterns that suggest previous universes might have existed before ours. Born, expanded, and then fallen back into silence. As though the cosmos itself were breathing, as though even creation needs to sleep. And perhaps, right now, you are part of that breath. The inhale and exhale of existence, rising into life, falling into rest. A rhythm that has always been and will always be. You feel your awareness beginning to thin, like a mist dissolving into morning light. The dark ocean softens around you, becoming more like velvet than water. You can almost hear a whisper in the silence. Do not fear the dark. It is where the stars are born, and then a faint light. Not above or below, but within, the same spark that pulled you from sleep 1,000 times before. The same spark that will one day pull you from death. The flame that never goes out. The awareness that watches even the silence. Even the void. You are returning now. Rising gently through layers of dream and thought. The dark water parting around you. Carrying you upward toward the thin line of dawn. And as you rise, you realize something breathtaking. That what you call you is only the surface of a much deeper being. One that never truly sleeps, never truly dies. One that watches from beneath all dreams. So rest now, traveler. Let the dark ocean cradle you. Let it take your name, your thoughts, your edges. And in return, it will give you peace. Because, in the silence of that ocean, everything is forgiven, everything is remembered, everything is one. When you wake, you'll carry the calm of that place. A soft knowing that even the void loves you, that death is not darkness, but depth, and sleep is its gentlest echo. So close your eyes and drift into the place where even dreams bow to silence, where creation rests between heartbeats, where you dissolve only to be remade again. Because every night the universe lets itself die, so that you and it can live once more. Have you ever woken from a dream that felt endless? A lifetime lived, an entire story unfolding in seconds. And yet, when you open your eyes, only a minute has passed, as if time itself had stretched, folded, or bent beneath your sleeping mind. Tonight, we drift into that mystery, into the strange gravity that governs dreams, where seconds turn into centuries, and memories slip between past and future. A realm that makes even Einstein's equations whisper in wonder. Because what if each night, as you dream, you are not simply resting, but traveling through a different dimension of time, one shaped not by clocks, but by consciousness itself. Close your eyes, let your breath slow, and imagine you are standing beneath a sky that ripples like water. Stars curve gently around unseen masses. Planets shimmer like distant lanterns. Everything bends, flows, wavers. As if gravity itself is dreaming, you feel light, weightless, suspended in a vast ocean of time. Every heartbeat, every breath, a ripple across that sea. And somewhere, far beneath those waves, you can sense the pull of something immense. Not a planet, not a star, but your own subconscious. A gravity stronger than anything in the universe. Scientists tell us that time is not fixed, that it flows differently depending on how you move, how fast you go, how much gravity pulls you. Near a black hole, time slows almost to stillness. A minute for you could be centuries elsewhere. And maybe, just maybe, your dreams are miniature black holes of the mind, tiny distortions in the fabric of reality, where thought bends time itself. In dreams, Your brain's prefrontal cortex, the logical gatekeeper, falls asleep. And deeper regions, the limbic system, the visual cortex, awaken. The architects of emotion and image take control. They paint with memories, sculpt with feelings, and time, that rigid ruler of waking life. Inside that dream, you could walk across an entire city, have a conversation, fall in love, lose it all. And yet, when you wake, the clock has barely moved. How? Some neuroscientists believe dreams compress experience, that the brain simulates time, creating the illusion of duration through rapid-fire neural sequences. But others whisper of something stranger, that dreams exist outside ordinary time altogether, that when you dream, you step into a space where your mind's gravity rules, where inner emotion warps the fabric of experience. Picture this: you are falling through your dream, not down, but inward. Each layer you pass through feels heavier, the scenes around you bending, stretching, melting, until time no longer flows, it folds. You walk into your childhood and find your older self waiting. You speak with people long gone. You visit places that never existed, and yet you know them, because in that space, memory and imagination are not opposites. They are coordinates on the same map. Dream researchers have begun calling this phenomenon temporal blending, when the mind merges past, present, and future to create a continuous landscape where time is emotion-driven, not clock-driven. That's why nightmares feel endless, because fear makes time stretch. And peaceful dreams vanish too soon, because calm collapses it. Your emotional gravity controls time's flow. Just as black holes curve space, your feelings curve dream reality. Your mind becomes its own cosmos, complete with laws, physics, and sometimes anomalies. There are stories of people who dream entire lifetimes, wake up remembering decades of events, languages they never learned, children they never had, places that don't exist. One man reported living 40 years in a dream, working, aging, loving, losing only to awaken gasping in his own 20-year-old body. Doctors called it an anomalous temporal loop, but he called it something else, a second existence. Is it possible that dreams allow us to experience parallel versions of time? Not imagined, but real different branches of possibility collapsing into the subconscious. When physicists speak of the multiverse, they describe a space where every possible version of reality exists simultaneously. And perhaps dreams are the bridges that let our awareness wander between them, briefly tasting the gravity of another timeline. Before snapping back, as you sink deeper, you feel that pull again. The sensation that time is not moving forward, but spiraling. You float through corridors of light and shadow, each one echoing with fragments of your own life. But rearranged, your childhood room stands inside a futuristic city. A voice you loved speaks in a language you don't know, and yet every detail feels true. Every sound feels right, as if you've lived this before, or will live it again. This is dream recursion, the mind revisiting its own simulations, replaying patterns, adjusting outcomes, trying to align with some invisible truth. It's not fantasy. It's your consciousness training, adapting, learning how to navigate non-linear time. Because here's what's remarkable. During REM sleep, your brain's timekeeping neurons the same cells that track rhythm and sequence go silent. It's as though the clock of the mind shuts off, and in its place, the emotional brain takes command. It doesn't count seconds, it measures significance. Moments with the most emotional charge stretch longer. Moments of peace compress shorter. Time becomes personal, elastic. What does this mean for the waking world? It suggests that time itself may not be something the universe imposes on you, but something you create through perception, through gravity, emotional gravity, through the mass of meaning you attach to moments. When you are fully present, time slows. When you are distracted, it vanishes. Dreams simply make this rule visible. The deeper question is if time bends in dreams. Could consciousness be the force that bends it? Could awareness itself be a kind of gravity, not physical, but experiential, holding reality together, giving it shape? Einstein once wrote that time is an illusion, a persistent one. Perhaps dreams are where that illusion thins, where you can see, for a few heartbeats, what reality looks like without the clock. In one ancient Tibetan sleep practice, the yoga of dreams, practitioners train to remain awake while dreaming, not to control, but to witness, to experience time from the outside. Those who succeed describe a terrifying beauty, moments expanding into eternity. The ability to watch hours unfold in what feels like seconds, and to see how all events, even across lifetimes, seem to exist simultaneously, not in a line, but in a single radiant sphere of being. Modern physics calls this concept the block universe, where past, present, and future coexist, and consciousness simply moves its light across different sections, like a beam scanning a film reel. You are not moving through time. Time is moving through you. And perhaps dreams are when that movement slows enough for you to glimpse the whole reel. You drift further now, through the dream's curved corridors, each door opening into another layer of yourself. You see moments that haven't yet happened, memories that never were, and still they belong. Because here, causality breaks. And what matters is not sequence, but meaning. You are no longer bound by time's river. You are floating above it, watching its currents weave into an endless pattern. And then something stirs beneath, a sensation like falling into your own reflection. The dream begins to fold inward, scenes collapsing like stars. You feel the pull, the gravity of waking, reality calling you back, your heartbeat sinking once again with the physical world as you rise. You carry something strange, the sense that the night lasted forever, and yet barely a breath. That paradox is the signature of the dream realm, the fingerprint of time's hidden geometry. When you open your eyes, the room looks the same, but something in you knows the clock on your wall is lying, because you've been elsewhere, in a place where seconds bloom into years, where consciousness folds space, where memory and destiny shake hands. And maybe that's the secret hidden in sleep, that each night you travel through your own personal space-time, learning, balancing, adjusting your orbit around meaning. Because life itself is not linear. It's a spiral, each dream a turn of that spiral, each awakening a return. So tonight, when you drift toward sleep, remember, you're not just closing your eyes, you're bending the fabric of time. You're stepping into a realm where gravity obeys emotion, where thoughts ripple faster than light, where every memory, every possibility, Every version of you waits, and maybe when you wake, it isn't time that has passed, but you, traveling again through the strange gravity of your own infinite dream. Have you ever woken from a dream that felt so real that for a few trembling seconds you weren't sure which world you truly belonged to? A dream where every detail was vivid, the air had texture, the sunlight warmth, the voices spoke with memory and meaning, as if they weren't inventions, but recollections from somewhere else. And then, hours later, something in waking life, a phrase, a sound, a scent, echoes that dream perfectly, as if your sleeping mind had whispered to the future. Tonight, we drift into that haunting possibility that your dreams are not merely shadows of thought, but architects of reality, building the world you wake into, one subconscious blueprint at a time. Imagine this. You are standing in an enormous, half-lit hall. The floor gleams like glass, and around you rise shapes, unfinished walls that breathe, corridors that flicker in and out, as if the world itself is still under construction somewhere in the distance. You can hear the faint hum of creation, a soft, rhythmic pulse, like the heartbeat of the universe itself. This is the realm of the architects, not beings, but processes, patterns within your dreaming brain that sculpt reality from within before you even open your eyes. Science tells us that dreams are simulations, complex virtual realities built by your brain each night. Your neurons ignite in patterns eerily similar to waking life, except instead of responding to the outside world, they generate one. But here's the mystery. What if the process doesn't stop when you wake up? What if your mind keeps constructing, using the same blueprints it rehearsed while you slept? Psychologists call it dream residue, the subtle influence of the night on the day. But quantum theorists whisper something deeper, that consciousness doesn't just observe reality, it participates in its creation. If your mind is a builder, then your dreams are its nightly workshops, where emotions, memories, and possibilities are rearranged, tested, refined, until they spill into the physical world, guiding your perceptions, your reactions, even the paths you choose without realizing it. Neuroscientists have discovered something astonishing. When you dream about an experience, running, learning, solving, the same neural circuits activate as if you were truly doing it. To your brain, imagination is rehearsal, and rehearsal is reality. So if your subconscious rehearses courage, you wake braver. If it rehearses loss, you wake guarded. If it rehearses love, forgiveness, creation, you wake ready to live them, without knowing where the impulse came from each night. You are both the architect and the apprentice, designing invisible structures, habits, beliefs, expectations that shape the waking world, brick by invisible brick. There's a phenomenon known as precognitive dreaming, dreams that seem to foretell events before they occur. Skeptics dismiss it as coincidence, but data from sleep research suggests something subtler. The brain constantly predicts, simulates, it generates thousands of possibilities nightly, and sometimes those predictions align eerily with reality. Not because you saw the future, but because your dreaming mind influenced it. By preparing you to notice specific cues, by nudging you toward certain actions. Dreams don't predict, they prime, they plant the seeds, and your waking self becomes the gardener. So perhaps, when you dream of meeting someone, or finding something, and it later happens. It's not prophecy, but participation. You built the road before you walked it, stone by thought, feeling by echo. Imagine again that translucent hall. Now the walls begin to solidify. Each scene from your dream flickering, becoming tangible. The whispering hum grows louder. You realize it's your own pulse, your heartbeat synchronized with the rhythm of creation. Because in your brain, networks are firing, weaving patterns between past and future, reality and imagination. Like a great architect connecting foundation to facade, the physical and the metaphysical. In this moment, you're both observer and maker, both the dreamer and the dream in the world of cognitive science. There's a theory called embodied cognition, which suggests that the mind does not live inside the head, but extends outward into your environment. Your relationships, your memories. You project yourself constantly, shaping reality through expectation, emotion, and attention. Dreams amplify that projection. They let your mind simulate entire worlds, so it can learn how to move through them. Then, when you wake, you carry those architectures with you, invisible but potent. Have you ever noticed how, after dreaming of flying, you feel lighter all day? Or, after dreaming of drowning, you carry a quiet heaviness? That's the architecture settling in, the echo of your inner world bending the outer one. In the 1980s, a sleep lab in Stanford ran a peculiar experiment. Subjects were asked to dream of solving a maze. When they woke, they could complete it faster than control groups. Even though they hadn't practiced awake, the dream itself had trained them. Their brains had built the map in advance. If dreams can construct maps, could they also construct meaning? Reality itself, as filtered through consciousness. Quantum physics hints at something radical. That observation doesn't just measure the world, it helps define it. The universe, at its smallest scales, exists in probabilities until perceived, and consciousness collapses those probabilities into events. So what happens when consciousness dreams? Does it collapse possibilities into emotional truths, blueprints for what the waking world will echo next? You are still in the hall now, but it has changed. Beams of light arc between structures. Symbols glow faintly along the walls. Memories, equations, maybe both. They look like constellations of thought. And you realize each one represents a story your mind has told itself. And the stories that are told most often become permanent structures, beliefs. They solidify like pillars in your waking architecture. Your reality is made of stories hardened into stone. Dreams are simply where new stories are written, waiting for daylight to set them. Here's the secret. When you wake from a dream and feel something deeply, peace, sadness, joy, inspiration, that emotion is an instruction to your brain. It tells your neurons which pathways to strengthen, which realities to give weight to. Each feeling becomes a kind of gravity, pulling your waking self toward the version of the world that resonates with that frequency. That's why dream journaling is powerful, not for remembering, but for reinforcing. You're telling your brain which blueprints to finalize, which realities to construct. But the mystery deepens, because sometimes dreams don't just shape emotion, they alter perception itself. People who experience lucid dreaming, where they become aware they are dreaming, report influencing real-world creativity and problem-solving. Inventors, artists, scientists from Tesla to McCartney to Einstein have all described breakthroughs that began in sleep. Not fantasy, but finished equations, completed melodies. Dreams are construction zones for the mind's most advanced architectures, where the impossible can be tested safely, and sometimes successfully exported into waking life. When McCartney dreamed the song yesterday, he woke believing it already existed. When Niels Bohr saw electrons orbiting the nucleus in a dream, he changed physics forever. Dreams aren't unreal, they're pre-real. Blueprints awaiting manifestation. But what happens when the blueprint turns dark? When nightmares, looping thoughts, or unresolved fears begin to build themselves into your waking architecture, then the architects of the subconscious must be reminded of balance, because the mind is always constructing, whether from peace or from fear. This is where awareness becomes the counterweight each time you wake and reflect. Each time you breathe slowly and notice the dream's residue, you're stepping back into the role of the master builder, choosing which walls to fortify, which ones to gently dissolve. Dreams show you what your inner world is drafting, but only waking awareness decides what gets built. You open your eyes now, the hall fades, but not entirely. You still feel its hum beneath the day's noise. You glance around your room, everything looks familiar, and yet there's something faintly luminous about it, as if the edges of reality haven't quite finished drying. And maybe they haven't, because tonight's dreams are still unfolding, still whispering blueprints into the fabric of tomorrow. The world you wake into is never quite separate from the one you left behind. It's a continuation, a collaboration between consciousness and the cosmos. So, as you rest tonight, let your mind design carefully, with curiosity, with kindness, with wonder, because the dreams you build are the worlds you will one day walk through. And in that soft boundary between sleep and wakefulness, between thought and thing, you'll find the truth whispered by the architects themselves, that reality is not something you enter, it's something you help create. Have you ever listened to silence so deep that it wasn't really silent at all? Maybe late at night, when the world is asleep, and you hear that faint hum beneath everything, a soft vibration that isn't from your room or your heartbeat, but something older, larger, as if the universe itself is humming you to sleep. That sound, or rather, that frequency, is real. It's been there since the beginning, the echo of the Big Bang, the cosmic background radiation that fills every inch of space, the afterglow of creation itself, still vibrating through time. And maybe, just maybe, it speaks directly to the rhythm of your sleeping mind. Close your eyes, take a slow breath in, and listen. You might think you hear nothing, but deep beneath the surface noise, the ticking clock, the worry fan, the quiet rhythm of your own breathing, there's another sound. Subtle, constant, the world's heartbeat. Imagine it like this. You are floating through space, far from planets or stars, surrounded only by soft waves of sound. Not the kind you hear with ears, but the kind that moves through energy. The sound of atoms trembling, of light bending, of gravity singing through the dark. This is the universe's lullaby. And every night when you sleep, your brain tunes into it. Neuroscientists have discovered something extraordinary. When you begin to drift off, your brain waves start to slow. They move from the quick patterns of wakefulness, beta waves, down through the gentle undulations of alpha, then theta, and finally the deep, slow rhythm of delta waves. These waves aren't random, they're a kind of internal music, a frequency your consciousness plays while the rest of you rests. And here's the beautiful part. Those frequencies match the natural resonance of the Earth itself. Known as the Schumann resonances, electromagnetic tones that pulse between Earth's surface and its ionosphere, usually around 7.83 Hz, almost identical to your brain's theta range. The frequency of deep relaxation and dreaming. It means that as you fall asleep, your mind literally harmonizes with the planet, your body syncing to Earth's hum like two tuning forks vibrating in sympathy. You're not alone in your sleep. You are part of a planetary rhythm, a cosmic symphony of slow vibrations. Imagine floating high above the world. You look down and see continents wrapped in a thin electric glow, storms flashing like heartbeat pulses, magnetic fields swirling in gentle arcs, and below that the sleeping millions, each one emitting faint frequencies from their dreams. Together, it looks like an aurora of consciousness, the dream field of Earth itself. Every sleeper adds a note to the song, every sigh, every heartbeat, every wave of brain activity weaves into the resonance. It's beautiful to imagine that while you dream of stars, the planet dreams through you, but the mystery doesn't stop with Earth. Because sound, vibration, frequency isn't just a feature of life. It's a law of the cosmos. Physicists say that the entire universe might be made not of particles, but of vibrations, that reality itself is a symphony of strings, tiny filaments resonating in higher dimensions. Every atom, every photon, every cell in your body is music solidified. This theory, string theory, suggests something poetic, that existence itself is sound made visible, that we are all notes in the grand composition of the universe, and when you sleep, your consciousness detunes from the loud frequencies of waking life, and returns to the subtle ones, the original tones of creation, the frequencies that built stars, that shaped galaxies, that hum still across the dark. Have you ever wondered why soft, rhythmic sounds help you sleep? The patter of rain, the distant roll of thunder, ocean waves, or the low drone of white noise, they all mimic the slow, cyclic pulses of the cosmos. Your brain recognizes them not as external sounds, but as home, the same way a seashell echoes the ocean. Your cells echo the frequencies of the universe. That's why monks chant in low tones, why lullabies calm infants, why certain frequencies induce peace. Sound has always been sacred because it bypasses thought and speaks directly to structure, to vibration itself. Every note, every hum, every whispered word changes the geometry of energy around you. You can see it in cymatics, the science of visible sound. When a plate sprinkled with sand is vibrated by frequency, the sand rearranges into stunning symmetrical patterns. Each frequency creates a different pattern. As if sound writes geometry, sound builds order from chaos. If that's true, then imagine what your sleeping brain, pulsing with delta rhythms, is writing into your body and mind. Your dreams are sound sculptures, shaping emotion, healing, memory, all through vibration. There's an ancient belief found in almost every civilization that the universe began with sound. The Egyptians called it the word of Ptah. The Hindus called it Om. The Greeks, logos, and the Bible began with, "Let there be light," but before light, there must have been sound. Because light moves through vibration. The first heartbeat of creation was frequency, a single wave expanding outward, and from it, everything followed. Now imagine, every time you sleep, you are returning to that first wave. Your consciousness dissolving into the same vibration that began time. That's why deep sleep feels so infinite. Why it feels like falling into eternity. Because, in a way, you are. And there's something else, something deeply strange. Astronomers have found that stars, those vast, burning orbs of plasma, sing, they vibrate, emit frequencies we can't hear directly. But when translated into sound, they create haunting, beautiful tones. Each star with its own pitch, its own rhythm, together forming a cosmic orchestra. Even the sun hums. It pulses with low, soothing waves that wash through the solar system. And if your brain waves align with Earth, then perhaps your dreams align with the stars. Your sleep becomes part of a celestial choir, a resonance shared across light. Think about it. Every atom in your body was forged in those stars. Every cell carries their vibration. So when you sleep, and your consciousness sinks into that slow, gentle rhythm, you're not escaping the world, you're returning to your origin. You're tuning back to the universal frequency you were born from. Some people report hearing music in dreams, melodies that don't exist, notes that move like liquid light. They wake with tears because the sound feels true, as if it were something they've always known. Maybe those aren't just dreams. Maybe those are moments when consciousness accidentally tunes perfectly to the cosmic frequency. Catching a few bars of the song creation still sings. Scientists studying brainwave entrainment have found something curious. When people listen to tones that mimic brainwave frequencies, like 8 Hz for theta or 4 Hz for delta, their brains naturally synchronize. It's as if sound gently pulls their mind toward peace, aligning neural oscillations like stars aligning in orbit. You've felt this before, in the hum of an airplane, the rhythm of the ocean, or the steady heartbeat of someone you love. Your nervous system softens because it recognizes pattern, it recognizes harmony, and that's the secret language of sleep. Harmony. Now imagine drifting even deeper. You're floating through space again, but this time, the stars are pulsing with light and tone, a slow, celestial rhythm, each one singing its existence into being, and you realize you can hear them, not with your ears, but with something deeper, an awareness that vibrates in tune with them. The sound isn't loud, it's infinite, like a gentle heartbeat that echoes through eternity. You can feel it in your chest, in your bones, in your dreams. This is the music of the spheres, the harmony that ancient astronomers believed governed all things, from the spinning of galaxies to the beating of hearts. And now, science is beginning to rediscover what the ancients always knew, that everything from electrons to emotions vibrates, that to exist is to resonate, and maybe that's what sleep truly is, the moment your body and the cosmos fall into perfect rhythm again. 2 notes in the same vast song as you drift closer to sleep tonight. Listen, even if it's quiet, even if it's faint, you can still sense it, the hum beneath the silence, the whisper of frequency threading through everything. That's the voice of the universe, gentle, patient, calling you home. Let it carry you Let it wrap around you like soundless music. Your breath sinking to Earth's pulse, your heart sinking to starlight. You are not separate from the universe's song. You are one of its verses. So breathe softly now. Feel the vibration of existence humming through you, through every atom, every thought, every dream. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to understand it. Just listen, because somewhere, deep in that silence, the universe is still singing. And tonight, it sings you to sleep.